Deku fam.
Hey Deku fam.
Welcome back to our channel.
Welcome back.
We're back. We are back. Like, oh my gosh. It has been so long. It feels like forever.
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
But we're so sorry. We've been studying and we haven't had the time to sit down, record a video and edit it. It actually takes a long time, but yeah, we're back.
Yeah, if you want a live update video, let us know because there's so much to update you on. But we're back, and Gabes would never stop the consistency unless you really needed to. So you know that the struggle was real, guys.
We had so many people check up on us to see if I killed Annabella or not. But yes, no, we're still alive. We're still doing well. We're getting there, slowly but surely.
We're still in love. You love me? I love you. But we're back with the one series. Mr. D right here planned a whole series and it's amazing. But in this one, we want to break all preconceptions and we're talking about, is there such thing as the one?
Yeah, because you hear it all the time. I'm looking for the one, I found the one. And even when people are in a relationship, they say, oh, I think I might be in the wrong relationship. The one might be outside, right? But when really and truly, is there such thing as the one?
And we can understand why a lot of people think it, like, you know, single people see us married folk like, oh, Gabes is the one for me. And in my Insta post, I'm like, oh, you know, Gabes, I had to marry Gabes and all this stuff. And that can really put into people's minds that like, oh my gosh, if they're in a successful relationship and they found their one, then I'm gonna wait for my one. We personally do not believe in there being a such thing as the one. And we want to explain to you why we believe this. So we've got 4 reasons as to why we don't believe there's such thing as the one. And hopefully you guys all understand. And then we can all be on the same page so that when we go into the next videos, we've all got that same perspective. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Okay. So the first reason why we don't believe in the one is because all it takes is one person or one couple even to not marry the one, and then we're all messed up. Because imagine if Annabella was not the one for me, and so that means the person who's the one and predestined for Annabella can't marry her because she's off market. Because obviously there'll be fights.
Snap me up.
Definitely. So that means that Annabella's man also won't marry the one, so then he has to marry someone else, and then that person marries someone else, and it's a big chain reaction, and we'll all be in messy relationship and unfulfilled. But we all know that's not the case.
Because we have this preconception that like if you don't marry the one, then you can't have a successful relationship. When obviously it is not true, because what makes a relationship successful is the 2 people's willingness to make it successful. And you know, there's a lot of people that are doing that, and if there was only one person that you could do that with, then all relationships are destined to fail. Because I don't know if Gabes is the one that I was meant to be with, but we've decided to be each other's one, and we're gonna have a successful relationship. So, and
it stops you. I think when you have the mindset when you're single or finding the one, that mindset will never leave you. When you're in your relationship and tough times happen, you'll still be looking over the fence and saying, maybe this is not the one, and the one might be over there, and then you always have this sense of void. But when you're more content in the decision that you've made, and realize that this is the one for me, you can actually move forward with your life. Because
when single people say that, oh, my God told me that the one is someone that's married, that's not the one.
It's not the one for you.
That's not even biblical at all. So, you know, we have to really get out of that mindset of thinking that there's only one person for us, and regardless of who that is, what circumstance they're in, we're taking them. That is not right. So that's one of the reasons why we think the one does not exist.
So the second reason why we don't believe that there is the one is because we are 2 imperfect beings, okay?
Well, I'm perfect, but well, we could have just gone with it, you know? Anyway.
I don't lie.
I know you didn't.
Anyway. So we're 2 imperfect beings, and sometimes when we think about the one, we put so much pressure on this one. We think about all the perfect characteristics that this person must have, and we never put into context that this person might not actually fulfill our every need. And then when we get in a relationship, we're really like, oh, you know, you don't even make me breakfast in the morning. Like, what's this about?
You're trying to make subliminal messages there.
Subliminal?
Like, you're 2 imperfect people and you put in the work so that it's a successful relationship. But if you've got this idea that, oh, the one comes and they're perfect and they're gonna complete me, then it's just no,
you're gonna be still empty. Literally. Because we could put so much pressure on this the one that The truth of the matter is your partner will always fail you.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, so it's about working through your relationship and not necessarily just expecting this person to come ready-made package who will fulfill your every need.
Yeah.
So the third reason why we don't believe in the one is because it doesn't take into consideration that when you're in a relationship or when you're even doing life, you're constantly changing.
Yeah.
And your partner is constantly changing.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just about keeping up and making sure that you're growing together rather than just thinking that, oh, we're gonna feel the same throughout our whole relationship.
Yeah.
Things always go up and go down. For example, in this season we were studying a lot more, so we barely had time for each other. So this season was all about coping with still having a great relationship, but yet with minimal time. So it's like, how do we work out that? So now the fact that Annabella was giving me less time, does that mean she's not the one for me? No, it just means that it's a different season that we're in.
Yeah, and like us as people are changing, and as we change, we have to continuously decide to keep loving each other, to keep making each other the one for us. Otherwise, you can easily just grow apart. And as we change, as life circumstances change you, like, you know, the tough seasons that you go through, you don't know what could come. You have to constantly remarry the person, don't you?
The best thing I think we've ever heard is that this woman was talking about she has been married to the same partner for 37 years, but she's been married like 5-6 times.
Yeah.
It's because every time there's a milestone, it's like there's a recommitment that you have to make, because you never know what could happen. There could be a death in the family. So it's like a different person that you're married to. So it's like literally growing with the person, understanding where you're at, and not just having a sense of resentment because the person didn't treat you the way that you were treated before. Or even the way that you even view your partner might change, and you've got to basically check yourself.
It's really important that you remind yourself that your partner is the one. So Gabes has changed. Like when we first met, he was really quiet, he didn't talk too much. Now he's talking a lot. That's a different dynamic. Like, what if I don't like that? What if I want the quiet guy? You know, what if I want to be the talker in the relationship? But little things like that can become really frustrating. Sometimes you're just like, be quiet or whatever. And you need to really love that person. I'm not gonna be like, oh, Gabes is different to the Gabes that I got with, so he's no longer the one for me, it's time to get out of here. Like, we don't want to have any sort of get out clauses in our relationship, especially when you're married. And you don't want to start thinking, oh, but then maybe not the one for me, and get into that mindset. We want to have a fighting mindset where we constantly keep wanting to choose our partner and want them to be the one for us. Because
really and truly, there's so much power in the choice and decision that we make about the one than the person doing anything for us. Because really and truly, there's nothing Annabella can actually do to keep me in this relationship or to make me love her. I've actually just got to give my love to her freely. I've got to make her the one freely. Because our requirements as human beings are so high that no one can fulfill those needs apart from God. So we can't put the pressure that, oh, this person has to be my every need and this one looks like this and looks like that, because we're just setting them up to fail.
So we will be doing a video on like what you look for in a spouse, because it doesn't mean that you just potentially just marry anyone. Obviously, single people like take advantage of the opportunity of having a choice and actually making wise decisions and actually looking at criterias and the Bible as your benchmark. But we'll talk about that in another video. But in this one, it's just breaking down all misconceptions about the one.
And the fourth reason why we don't believe in the one is because God gave us free will. And if you think about it, the most important decision as a human being will ever have to make is the decision to follow Christ. Okay? So if we have to make a decision to follow Christ, why do we expect God to just give us this one? Literally, we will have to make the choice. We're aware that obviously God speaks to people, like, you know, he spoke to Hosea to go back to marry Gomer, and he spoke to Joseph to marry Mary. But that's not everyone's story. Like personally, we didn't have this, you know, this voice that came down from heaven and saying she's the one for you and he's the one for you. We just kind of like realized that, you know, there's certain characteristics that I value in you. There's certain characteristics I can see that are biblical even, that, you know, I actually like you and I actually want to take this a bit further. You have to look at it as like God can do what he wants. And there are specific cases where he spoke to people audibly and said, this is going to be your partner. And he had a purpose through that and whatever. But for a lot of other people, it was just a choice, and it was like, okay, right, I looked at God's word, I used his wisdom, I spoke to wise counsel, and this is the decision that I've made and I'm going to stick to it. And God allows you to do that. So
let's not get boxed in and thinking that God can only act in one certain way. At the end of the day, he is the almighty, all creating God, and he does what he wants. So in some cases, he'll speak to people audibly, but in other cases he won't. And our situation was that he didn't, but we did use his word as counsel. We did speak to people. We did we did a lot of things, and we prayed and everything like that. But
and
that's not everyone's story.
And sometimes if you think about it, if God was to really choose your one, would you even be happy with it? Because if you think about Gomer and Hosea's situation, imagine if God told me to go marry a prostitute. I'm like, nah, bro. You know? Or even Joseph's situation. A woman is pregnant and he didn't even impregnate her, and God said, like, this is your wife. It's like mad thing. Like, you know, like really and truly be happy that God gave you free will so that you can actually choose for yourself. But also, like Anna said, we go through a process of just understanding like the requirements of what the one looks like, looking at that in the word. We can put so much pressure on ourselves just to try and find the one, when really and truly just chill and make a choice. Because it's more important for, you know, two people to be more willing in their relationship than for all the circumstances to look align, like the stars and moon are aligning and all that kind of stuff that people like to see to realize it's the one. It's just literally two willing people who've said, I love you, and they're willing to stay committed to that. Like literally, that's where the blessing comes. Also, to some extent, believe in the one, because we believe that the one is actually when you get married. Because they're the ones. I've made the decision that Annabella is the one for me. I've made a decision that my eyes are not going to be going up, here, there, everywhere, looking over the fence, trying to find another one. Literally, Annabella is the one for me, and because we're married, I am making the decision to remain in this relationship. And
for people who are not even married to maybe Christians, for example, they weren't able to do the checking and stuff before because maybe they weren't thinking about that. Now that you're married, that is your one. Literally, you have to work it. You have to fight through it. The Bible says that when two get married, that they become one flesh. So you two are one. There's no need to be looking elsewhere, thinking, oh, but that person might be the one for me and whatever. That just opens up room for the enemy to come into your relationship and literally try to deceive you and tell you that you need to be looking elsewhere. But we really do believe that like there is so much power in two people together, and God's still going to use it regardless of how you got together. He can still use you. So
peace.
Happy to be back. We missed you guys. Anyway, so thanks.
If you like the video,
comment,
like, subscribe.
See you guys.
Peace.